All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Shaq here, and welcome to Tabletop Simulator. Today, I'm going to do an uncut video showing how to make D&D 3D maps, or Star Wars. Particularly, this is going to be a Star Wars tabletop map that I'm going to be building today. But you can use the skills and everything that I've learned here to make any kind of map. Now, we're not only going to show how to make a map and to develop a 3D map in this game, but I'm also going to show you how to use the Fog of War system to add a little bit more kind of spice to it, and it's a lot of fun. So if you're playing D&D, if you're playing Star Wars, any tabletop game, if you want a map and you want your players to have a fun table to play on, well, I'm going to show you how I do things at least. So let's go ahead, let's get in. I'm going to go ahead and get my map loaded up. Now, this game's been running for almost a year privately. So we've got a lot of elements on the board, but for you, if you're just starting out on here, you're going to probably want to make your own map. Now, the table that we're going to be using is the Star Wars table. I've shown it on the channel before. I'll actually show it in the subscribed mods list real quick. So if you're a Star Wars Fantasy Flight player, here is the table that I use. It's the Star Wars RPG table. It looks just like this in the image. I know it's kind of small and hard to see. Let me see if I can open... let's see, info maybe? Yeah, I can open up the page so you can find it here. So just look up Star Wars RPG table. It's a fantastic table. Last update, I think it was back in like June or something. And it's got all kinds of like trackers for your characters. It's got cheat sheets, GM screen for you if you need that reference and you don't have one on hand. Tabletop Simulator is one of the best games that you can pick up over on Steam for. And you can use Roll20 if you wanted to. There's a few others, but I love this one because it gives you the sense of actually being at a table with your friends. If you can't play locally, you can't have people come over to your house, or maybe y'all moved away, this is one of the best ways to play. Let me jump on over. I'm going to hit change color up here, and I'm going to jump over to the Game Master so I can see all the hidden things. Now, hopefully my players don't watch this, because there are going to be some mild spoilers for those guys for that campaign. It is a private one, though, so if you're just coming from the channel, don't worry about it. It's not going to be coming up on the channel. Now, here's everything behind the GM screen, and of course, I've got all my cheats. If you want to look at this closely, by the way, hold Alt, and it'll open up one side. If you hit Shift, it'll actually show you the opposite side of whatever you're zooming in on. So we can look at this little ship here, and I can hit Shift, and we can look at the bottom of it. Same for any models as well. Hitting Shift will show you the opposite side, so you can actually read this. A little hard to read this one, though. You're probably going to have to zoom in if you want to read, like, what critical is a roll 100? You're going to have to zoom in like this. Easiest way for that quick reference. All right, so let's get into making a 3D map. Now, I use a very particular tool. I use One World. You can also find this on the workshop. One World is epic. Like, this thing has changed so much for me. It is a tool that allows you to save 3D maps, everything that you put on the table, right into this little clipboard. So if I initialize it here, and I'll show you what I mean, but not only that, it lets you save the entire world for your game. So we go to next here, we'll pull up my over map for my campaign at the moment. You'll see these little X's on here. So here's the map. As I load that up, this is like my main screen for the campaign. It gives them information. This would be, if you're playing D&D, this would be your world map with your continents and your rivers and your oceans and your main cities, right? This is what you would use. And then from there, as your players expand and travel out, you'd click on those cities. And for, let's say we click on Iridonia, right? Iridonian space. I've got a little map here called Iridonian sector, and I made all these. They're just little links to take us to drill into this map. So we'll go to the Iridonian sector. The players say, I want to go to hyperspace, and I want to go to this sector. And so they see this. This is what I made for them. This would be your city map, right? Your grand capital city map. Where are the places they can go? For us, though, it's Star Wars, so we're in the Star Sector. We can go to the capital city of Alward, or Maldris, one of the larger cities on the other continent. Let's say we want to go to the capital city, which is kind of where they're located right now. If they say, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and land our star freighter over there. Okay, well, we'll head over to Alward. Double-clicking the name, it loads it up. Now they've got the city of Alward along the Zuith River, and all the little subsections there that they can go explore. That all has to do with the story that they're playing through right now. And then we've got the sub-elements of that. So if they wanted to go to, say, the fighting bar arena area, right? I can double-click on that, and it'll load the map. Now, here's where this tool comes in handy. If I click Build, it will actually build up the map, and it's a 3D map. I've added all kinds of... Ignore the little error messages there. It's some of the models that I decided to use are missing some elements. But it builds up all the 3D elements that I have already applied to the map. So we can see I've got, the bartenders there and places to sit. some kind of battle droid that's keeping an eye on things, a security droid, and then the arena itself. Even added some some artwork up here so they can see this is actually a wanted poster for one of my players. They haven't actually seen this yet. So there's a lot of fun that can be had. Even more so, if we go ahead and clear that, we'll back out. Let's go last. Let's go back to Alward. You know, we can build up a different map if we want, and this is why I love this so much, because in the base game, without this mod, without One World, we would have to reload the map. We'd have to load into different maps where all this stuff was prepped. Letting that build up. Here's a 3D map of arena that the players could find themselves in, right? Kind of cool. Even has some custom artwork up here, billboards of the different team leaders for the different arena fights that are coming. So, yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with this. And you don't have to reload the map, and you can go to them very quickly. Now, we're going to build a custom map today. That's the plan. So let me go ahead and clear this out. We're going to make a new map. I'm going to click this. Now, if you want One World, if you want to pick this up, I'll run you through that real quickly. What you got to do is go to the Steam Workshop and just look up One World and get it subscribed. I'm going to find it in my workshop list. I've got a lot of maps that I have subscribed to, a lot of custom assets that I'm subscribed to, so I have those for my table. Here's One World. You don't even have to load the map. Just go to Options, go to Expand, and this is how you load in custom assets from things you've subscribed to on the workshop. You can drag and drop them right in. What you're going to need for One World, and I'm not going to pull these out because I've already got them right here and working. I don't want to mess up the script. You're going to need the O-Hub, the base, and the base. That's all you should, I believe, need, is those three things. Once they're on the table, you click Initialize on One World, like you saw me do when we first got in here. And then you're good to go. You can click New, and it'll start a new map for you, and it'll give you this little box right here. Now you can drag this onto the One World, we'll call this the tablet or whatever, tablet or clipboard, and it will give you instructions if you drag it on there. It says, change the custom art, blah, blah, blah. I'll show you how to do this. Basically, it's telling you that if you change that little thing you pulled up there, so let me go ahead and hit edit. It'll give us this back. If you edit this little box, this custom box, and give it a new name, we're gonna call this what we're gonna build today, which is a Imperial Tower. Now it's called Imperial Tower, and if we change custom, if we change the URL to something else, like say I've copied the URL for an image I found on Google, it's going to be our Imperial Tower base, and drag it back over to here. Actually, we don't need to do that. We just go to exit. All right. We go last now to bring it back up. We've now got our new map to start with. Here's our little Imperial encampment. Now, there's a few things that I don't like about this. It is sticking over the side, right? It's sticking over this side, so let's go ahead and clear that. And I'll show you how to do this directly, a little bit faster. So what you can do is you can, if you're making a new map, right? When you click New, and it gives you that little box, don't throw it on there. Just go right-click, Custom, name it what you want. The fastest way of doing this. Imp Tower. All right. And then Custom up here. We're going to change that URL for the image. Now it's right there. Drag and drop it onto the clipboard, and you're ready to go. You've made the base of your tower, but I still don't like how it's hanging over, how it doesn't match the table size. There is a button. It's actually covering it up a little bit, but there is a button right here that says Fit Frame. Click it. It'll repack the base up, so everything will disappear. Then go last. This is your next to last button on all your maps, by the way, if you want to filter through them quickly. And now look at that. It's perfectly fit for our table. Though, from my perspective, it's kind of reversed and upside down. I don't like that. I like everything facing toward, this side of the table. So let's click some rotation buttons. That's what these little guys are with the dots. These are rotation buttons, and it's just rotating the map. And it'll save it that way. There we go. Marine Coco, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate it. We are streaming this over on Twitch over at Twitch/Caption Shack. If you're wondering what those pop-ups are. And stream, if you guys want to ask questions while we get into the build on this, please do, because whatever questions you ask, I'm sure people on YouTube will have very similar questions. But we're going to build this up. We're going to make this a little bit more sci-fi. Now, fair warning, if you're playing Star Wars tabletop and you enjoy the making maps, you're going to find that there's a severe lack of science fiction maps, really. Other than maybe interiors of starships, There's just not a lot of maps out there. There's tons of fantasy ones, though, for D&D. Looks like this map comes from Patreon of Neutral Party. So, cool. If you're looking for more maps that look like this artwork, there you go. It even says it on there. I like that. There's a ton of... I wish... If there's any patron artists out there that are doing a lot of sci-fi stuff, I couldn't find any when I did a hard search for it. Let me know. Send me an email. I'd love to work with somebody to get some maps made. Maybe we can work something out, get the word out there. So, all right, let's go ahead and build this up a bit. Now, what I'm gonna do is we need to. I want this to be a bit more 3D. I want this to be. I want to have these tents. I think I'm actually gonna keep the tents. Like the Empire has come in here and set up on top of a hillside, slightly above a field, right, with some light forests. So we'll probably build up these trees a bit. And they're keeping track of maybe ships flying in and out. You know, you ever watch like Return of the Jedi? They had that one guy with the scanning, like that hand scanner, watching the ships come in and going. Well, that's what this garrison is doing. They're just kind of keeping an eye on the local area. So let's build this up a bit. Now, I want to make this 3D. I want this to actually be off the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little photoshopping. Let me switch to display capture here. We'll open up Photoshop. See if I can do this in a way that's not gonna... Hi, chat. You guys are chat. It was in chat. All right. Let's open that up. Now that I've decided to do this, by the way, I'm going to have to remake this image to be a different size in Photoshop because it has to be exact. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this section, this top part, so we have it as a PNG file, and we're going to make it stick out of the ground. Should be pretty cool. We'll see if that works out, though. So first thing I need to do is actually grab a copy of the map. So let's go to edit here. I need the URL for it. So copy this, grab... and let's paste it into here. Copy image. All right. We'll rotate you. And do we want to stretch this? Not too much. There we go. Holding shift allows me to stretch it. That's not too bad. That doesn't seem too stretched. Holding shift allows you to stretch exactly flat, so maybe try to get these more boxy. Like the squares aren't square anymore, so I'm gonna move them around a little bit. All right, that feels pretty good. So that's gonna be our new image. I'm gonna save this as a JPEG. We'll call this Imp Tower. Oops. Tower. Imp Tower base. There we go. So that's going to be our base. And then I'm going to grab the polygonal lasso tool. Just something fast enough. And I'm going to start clicking around. Actually? Yeah. I'm going to start clicking around the base of the rocks. And we're going to get a rough cut of the little hillside here. And I think I'm going to cut it a little bit here. We'll see how this works. And then maybe back down. Because I want to make that an actual ramp. Base of the hill, base of the hill, base of this like rock section of the hill. Yeah, this is probably supposed to be out like this right here. So it doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Copy, pasta. Oh, nope. Copy. Make sure we click the layer, pasta. You can use whatever you want for your editor. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And now we've got a PNG of the hillsides. Let's go ahead and save that as a PNG. And we'll call this... imp, tower, hill. Needs to be a PNG so you can save that transparent layer. Right, cool beans. And then, do we want to do one more? Just for experimentation's sake, you can find you probably do this a lot. We'll do one more layer. So, I think we'll do this one. To make this off the ground too. There we go. Copy that, paste it, get rid of that. Nice, save as. I've been having a lot of fun because of One World editing this stuff. Imp, tower, top. Because you can save it. You can have all these maps just ready to go for your players, and you can give it verticality, which is quite cool. So you can see like there's the layers that we're going to be using on the map itself. Now what I use, and you can use any kind of image hosting service that you want, I actually use a storage channel on Discord, because Discord will hold images for you and it will hold PNGs. So if you've got like your group chat, just use a chat somewhere and you can just drag and drop them in. That's how I like to use it. And it gives me quick access. They don't take a lot of space up either, which is nice. But you do what you do, wherever you want to store it, as long as you've got access to it. I'm going to throw these on here. And then I need the JPEG as well. So we need the base as well. There we go. There's the base. Now the reason that I had to put this in here, we can't use it the way I had it on the map, is because it wasn't the right size. And then when I hit fit, it stretched it, right? So it's not going to be exactly perfect. We can now go back into the table. So let's go to tabletop again. Game capture. There we go. So we're back into tabletop. So what I'm going to do is, once again, we're editing this. I've already got it in edit mode, apparently. I'm grabbing the URL for those images that we just uploaded. First, we're going to do the base. So custom, stick the base in there, and we'll go as soon as it loads it. Look at how stretched that is. Exit. Last. It's going to be real weird, watch. Yeah, see how stretched? Because we were set to fit on its other one. So what we're going to do is we're going to reset it. Now, we shouldn't have to stretch this. We shouldn't have to make it fit. It should just work because it's the exact size, which is what that little text block told you, is what size this table actually is. Which I believe, well, what was that? It was like 19 by 945 or something like that. It'll tell you. It'll tell you on the little text block when you make a new little card. If you drag it on there, it'll say exactly what size you want your base image to be if you want to have it take up the whole map and have everything synced. But anyways, we've got a table. Haha, we're back right where we were, right? We haven't really accomplished anything. Well, let's see how this looks. We're going to go into custom. So here's what I forgot I'm doing a tutorial here. Objectives, components, objectives, objects, components, custom stuff under here. Grab token. Now, the reason we use token is because it actually has the PNG layer to it. It'll actually cut away all the excess crap. Use a tile, it'll always be square. I'm grabbing the URL for the first layer that we made that I uploaded. It just fell through the floor. Wait a second, it'll pop up. There it is. Hey, and notice that it's cut itself. So it's not square anymore, right? And now we can just blow this up. More. And the whole point was to give some verticality to this hill. And now we've got kind of up on the hillside. And if we want to make this higher, line it up as best I can. I'm not super bothered by it not being perfect. Might need to be a little bit bigger, though. Now we actually have high ground. Yes, thank you, stream. We want it higher, we just copy and paste another one on there. There we go. Now this works really, really well for like building walls and stuff. So, and now one of the cool things, we're going to talk about Fog of War a little bit later. And another one we can do, by the way, is we can make this slightly smaller. So it looks like it's gradient. It's got a little bit more of like a gradient to it. And then we hit L to lock. So this stuff won't move around anymore. So this could be where your players have to do a roll for athletics. They want to climb. This also, when they get up there, maybe they've got farther field of view. All right, so there we go. We've got our little hillside. We had one more image we were going to make. We're going to try doing this a little bit higher than the rest of it. So let's try that. Objects, components, tokens. And do you guys have any tricks over on the YouTube world, or you guys on stream, that your stuff, you know how to make your stuff look really cool? Let me know. I love to learn new things. All right. It was one of the Tabletop community members who turned me on to this mod that a community member made for One World, and this thing is just, it's amazing. Yes, those are credit chips, by the way, that I can actually shrink down and put on the map for my players to find. So where did that little icon go? There it is. There's our token right there. It's a little small. Let's make it bigger. For our, and this isn't gonna be a tent up here. I think this is gonna be something a little bit more interesting. Maybe a turbo laser tower? Maybe, maybe a mortar pit. That could be weird. I kind of dig that idea. Let's make you full size. Like that's just a sheer cliff on that side. And let's make it taller. Let's go max. And we'll line it up with that. Okay, there we go. It's not bad. It's not bad. Maybe a little bit bigger. Could be a heavy weapons team up there with sandbags built all around it. Like, we can have a lot of fun with it. Like I said, there's not a lot of sci-fi maps out there. So you've got to really get creative if you're doing Star Wars. If you're doing D&D, man, you can go ham. You can go ham with it. There's so many assets for you out there. I'm not jealous. I'm a little jealous. All right, let's give this a little bit of life to it, though. Let's get some detail on this map. So we're going to go to games. Anything you subscribe to on the workshop, by the way, you can open up in here. Like, I got a Warhammer 40K map. I can go to options, I can go to expand, and I can just pull stuff from this. Let's grab some trees. Do we like this tree? Yeah, I like it. I think that can work for our needs. What about, what's this tree do? Are they different? They're slightly different. 2 trees, and there's all kinds of tree models out there. Now we just gotta find out why I can't click. There we go. I was hitting the unlock button to find out where like the model actually is. So where the collision box is, and then we'll be able to unlock it and drop it. So it looks like it's at the base of the tree right here. For weirdly enough, you have to click down here apparently to lock and unlock this. But all right, let's go ahead and put, I feel like there's a tree right here. What's the name of the painter? It's like, I'm gonna paint a pretty little tree right here. Maybe put one back here as well. And then make sure there's enough room for a character model to walk through here. The reason being is that the players may want to stealth up on this, through the forest. Maybe that's one of the options if they roll a... Bob Ross, thank you. I feel like Bob Ross of Tabletop. These are a little too close to the table. Let's move these back a wee bit. Shit, I put them in the hand of a player. I need to remove those hands. They don't need player hands, but I think that broke something last time I tried. It's fine. Where else do we want one? Do we want maybe another one like right here on the edge of the map? Yeah. You get a little bit more detail and put some bushes in, which we might do. I have some somewhere floating around. But not bad. So far, so good. No trees are really in the middle. We do have like an old stumpy log. So let's go back in. And let's look through the... This is a brand new map, this Tau Forest map, because it had some really cool looking custom walls that I was super interested in. Let's take a look at these. I haven't played around with these. And that's kind of the fun of tabletop simulators. You never know what people are going to find and come up with, and you can use it for anything you want. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know why some of them float 50 feet off the ground, but here we are, guys. We do need walls. Where are the walls? Are there not walls? I mean, maybe they set up a camp on a site. Jesus, they're way up and they're all considered locked. On an old ruined site, so we could set up maybe some ruined walls up and around. That could be kind of cool. Let's grab both of these. Just pull out a bunch of assets for us to play around with and see if we can give this a little bit more life. Sundered Throne, custom models, light rain from above. Oh, this is the rain effect. There's actually a workshop mod table that has just a variety of cool effects. We might come back to that later. I mean, maybe this is where they're... Ooh, that could be fun. Is there... I believe one of these is like a shield generator model of sorts. Yeah, maybe this is a... this tower is actually... We can resize these. actually has like an old shield generator. Or maybe this is the power generation system for the turbo laser tower that the players have been sent in to take out. Like you can, as I've built maps, the story has fully changed for all kinds of things that we've worked on, you know, on stream and off. You know, I'll grab another one of these, not that I need to. Do we look at this one? What is this one? Oh, that's like a proper gigantic tower. I mean, that could be what's up here. Suddenly sci-fi. That's not bad. I kind of dig it. We might want to resize it a little bit. But what we're not getting out of this, I think we've all noticed, is there's no freaking walls. I thought there were walls. Holy balls, that's huge. Yeah, that's massive. Let me shrink you down. We can always resize it later. And I don't think we pulled one of these, so I want to see, what does this look like? Is this like a... You could use these easily on a map where you wanted skyscrapers. Like, that would work fine. Get some city streets going. Yeah, for sure. What is this? Chances are this tile map is using these from like... This is... I would assume this right here is from some fantasy D&D map that they were like, this works for our needs for this map we're using. So... It's kind of neat how everything kind of rolls in. We got some Clone Wars stuff in here, not something we need. What we need is Star Warsy walls. We need Star Warsy walls. Why don't we look at this one? This is a Star Wars reclaimed Rebel port of some kind. This program's so cool. There's so much stuff you can do. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff in this because this is a scripted one, so... there we go. There's the walls that we're looking for. We're going to come over here. We're going to pull some of these out. I actually had these at one point in a bag ready to go. Sadly, that particular mod was removed or something. It just stopped working. So now I've got to pull these free again. So we got like landing bay walls, these little sections that we can use. A heavy bridge to replace that wooden one if we want to. Outpost wall here, though this might be a little bit too tall. I think there's a half. I think there's a half piece somewhere. Bunker heavy cover. Maybe there's a bunker entranceway into this base? I don't know. Probably not. We probably won't use this one. Cargo crates for a little bit more decor. I actually quite like these. And then barricades. These are half barricades. Turbo laser tower. There you go. A little bit of extra defense. But where's the half walls? There's some extra cargo crates. Cargo pallets. Heavy cargo crate. Is it the same thing? Yeah, it looks like the same thing to me. Loading bay doors, heavy machinery. Let's grab the heavy machinery out of here. Anything that we might want to use. Maybe some outpost wall end caps. Those could be fun. Let's grab those. And then the half wall cover. There's also a landing platform. I don't think we're going to use it, but I'm going to grab it anyways. All right. So, how do we want to play this? What do we want to turn this into? Well, obviously we need to start working on wall sections. Now, for what we've got here, there isn't really enough of these fantasy walls. And then what's our main entranceway? Over here? Okay. So this is going to be our main entrance. What if we use this bridge as a ramp? We could, potentially. We angle this right. Maybe blow it up a little bit more. Like a heavy vehicle ramp, so maybe they've got some armor up here. You can hit L to lock things. Now, one of the tools, and I'll run you through some of these tools if you've never used them before. Not enough space. Oh, we gotta shrink things down. We gotta resize things. That's all we gotta do. Stream. It's no big deal. Look at this. You just do plus and minus on your keyboard, and you can make these things as tiny as you want. So that maybe that's the size of the wall. How big are our players going to be? And we can resize all of that as we go. The Bob Ross of Star Wars. Here for you guys. I don't think we need this. I don't think that really fits. Yeah, and this right here, it kind of looks like a communications tower of some kind. I think it's a non-issue. I don't even think this is potentially what we want to use. I think we're not going that big. This is like a temporary outpost or base that they've set up to keep an eye on something. So maybe they've set up a barrack, like a weapons platform here, behind some old ruins. which would make a really fun space where the players could be like, their weakest wall. And this works. This is where you start getting some fun ideas. The weakest wall that the enemy could have, if they have a chance to scout the base out, is this broken ruin section that they thought no one would try to actually approach because there's a laser tower behind it. Can we tint this, by the way? Sometimes you can tint models. Whoa, too high. Let's give it more of a darker gray. Like for me, it looked too rebel, right? I mean, I know this is the Hoth style turret, but if we give it like an off-colored gray, paint it gray, it's obviously Imperial, right? Like that's got to be true. And let's get rid of all this stuff. We don't need any of this. We don't need that name pop them up every time they put their mouse over it. They can tell that thing's probably full of death. And maybe this is the main power generator for the base defenses, which probably wouldn't be near the entranceway. Maybe they have it here. That's what this is. Inside these little half walls. I'm not 100% on using these just yet. At least not on this map. Anything we don't use here, well, obviously I can use for something else, for something fun. So, hey, Laughing Outlaw, thank you so much. Needs more E-webs? Absolutely. So once we start getting into putting Imperials down on the map, that's when we need to start talking about like what... I kind of like the idea that this thing is a little bit smaller and has been knocked over by... Let's go ahead and lock it first. I was going to put an actual log here, but now I think, no. The Empire's literally just found this old statue knocked over, and they're just using it as like a low bench. Whoops. I rotated that direction. I didn't want to. You can grab this and rotate it using... Here's the movement tools I was talking about. So you've got normal move, where you can just grab these little arrows. If they highlight, you can grab them, move them around, up, down. You can type in stats for transform. Or you can click like this one and do the rotation. Once again, just grabbing the different angles. Rotate them the way you want to. Let's get it going the same angle as the log below it. And we can also do scale, where we can make it different sizes. If we want. We don't want to stretch it too much. And let's move it over some more. Let's get it centered. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to bury it partially into the ground. Like, it's been there for a very long time. There we go. And what I think we're going to end up doing is surrounding it with a little bit of rubble. Maybe give it a little bit more of a back roll. And remember, this isn't just because I want a little decoration. This could be cover for the players, right? They get into a firefight in the middle of the base. You want stuff there for them to use for cover. So I might even take another one of these and put it out so they could knock it over on top of an enemy. Who knows? We could have all kinds of fun with it. But let's go ahead and just put the one in there for now. And then we'll surround it with some rock and rubble as we get farther into it. Okay, we talked about having a little bit of a landing pad. They are Imperials. Now, the question that I have for you, stream, and for you guys on YouTube, I'm curious what you would do in this instance. Should we have a landing pad? What would this Imperial unit use to get here? Right? They're not walking. They're Imperials. They're not gonna walk. They're gonna take a transport if they've got access to one. We could even do something like that. We could have this hanging off the edge here, because Imperials be Imperialing, you know? And they've created a landing platform, if we wanted to. That might be a bit too much for our little outpost, but I'll put that there for now. I was thinking actually having some kind of transport, maybe an APC of some kind, maybe a small base, walker, or a grav vehicle. Exactly, yeah, walker or grav vehicle. And when we figure that out, now we can figure out what kind of support something like that would need. So going into my Star Wars figures box that I've got here. Once again, this is from the workshop. Just look up Star Wars figures and you'll find a map and you can grab those. So maybe, if we're figuring out scale here, we got our ATST. Maybe this is an armored, this is a recon group, right? Maybe this is their home base. So this is where they send out their scout walkers. So maybe they've got 2 shut down here. That's one option. That's one option. I know Stream is like, yeah, have walkers, but I'm thinking maybe APCs are a better idea. And then we can figure out, like, okay, well, that means we're going to need some maintainers and we're going to need some supply boxes. We'll figure that out in a second. Let's work on walls. Let's figure out the rest of the defenses for this for this base. So obviously we're not going to have wooden walls, though you could. There's no reason not that the Empire wouldn't use what they have at hand. Maybe they've been under siege for quite a long time, haven't been able to get their modular structures in. So they've resorted to old school, you know, cutting down the local trees and dragging lumber back to make defense points. Depends on what kind of state the Empire would be in at the time. So we can kind of clip this in here if we want to and combine these two walls. Maybe even stretch it just a little bit to get rid of that in piece. And then we could do the same. Unclip you. Oh God, I unclipped it before I had it. Well, I had it in something. Hitting F flips things. If you ever want to get it right side up again, just hit F. Oh no, what have I done? I'm gonna move you over a little bit. Yeah, see, Imperial troop transport and scout bikes. King Jason says in chat. I think you're onto something. An ATRT. Maybe we can find one. I do have a new Clone Wars era. Let's go ahead and lock this and start using this tool. Once something is locked, you can clip it through other objects, as you saw me do earlier. Use that to your advantage, for sure. And then you can do a little rotate. Make sure we highlight the yellow one. I don't seem to be able to grab it. There we go. Get the angle that we want. Cool beans. We do have a copy of it, so we can paste another one. Sorry, Catulpastat tablet. My bad. Let's move you out of the way and get the second piece of wall up. Now, how do we want to do this one? Because this one's going to be a little bit more irritating. What we could do, because they're not going to connect very well, right? And the rotation that I'm using just keeps kind of spinning it. Positions I don't really want it. We need you to be slightly more rotated. And then slightly more this direction. And I'll give it a little bit more rotation. Nah, it's fine. What we can do is we can take this. We can lock this. And we can move it. And we can rotate it to cover up any unsightly seams. And we've got ourselves a Imperial wall set up. Not bad. Not too shabby, actually. I kind of dig it. These little towers, which, by the way, I'm going to have to get all freaky with. There we go. If you hit L and unlock them, the physics take over again, and they go batty if they're clipped into something, so be careful. Sometimes they can go flying. All right, so you, sucker, get in there. Get in there. Cool beans. But you can, as you're building these maps, and this is one of the reasons why I like maps, because you don't need them for FFG. Like, they are so unnecessary for playing the Star Wars tabletop, because it's more theater of the mind for the most part. But I find just making the map and having the map there, my players get more creative. They see things on the map and they go, okay, hey, that tower over there, can I climb that with an athletics check? And if you've got your climbing gear, yeah, go for it. Or, you know, what's that building? And I may not have thought about it, and I'll be like, oh, well, that building is it's a maintenance structure for the ATSTs. It's where they hook them up and they remove their heavy weapons. They've got a big crane there. All right, well, I'd like to use the crane to bash that tower down. Like, oh, okay, well, do a stealth check to get over there and see if you can make it. Like, you can do a lot of fun stuff with that. So it can be a little limiting sometimes because you do have a map. That means that, you know, their grand plan that popped into their head might not work. And other times it may give them all kinds of fun, creative ideas to deal with the problem. This looks like this needs to rotate a little bit more. I'm noticing I need to change the rotation to something. No. 15 is as small as I can go. I can't. Oh, I guess I can't input that. That's fine. Let's grab the movement tool here. There we go. There we sort of go. It's a little longer than I wanted, but it's fine. It's covering up the wood too. You guys are probably seeing, you know what I did again? I used the one I had down here instead of having copy pasta, but let's go ahead and just, oh no, I have one. Haha. Ah, that means I don't have a wall, do I? I've got one of these. Let's go ahead and just put you here. Plop you here. Let's see if we can draw this out a bit. You need to be stretched. Volume scale. Woo! I'd say about right there seems about right. And then give me another extra one. So we'll probably put one of these here. And probably put one of these here, unless we want to use guard towers, the entranceway. But I'm thinking we'll be okay. Maybe build a gate there. You know? We could do a gate like right here. So as the vehicles come up and over, and I feel like this needs to be bumped over a little bit to the left. There we go. We'll do a gate right across. This is a loose fit, and then we'll do one more of these up and against the wall here. I'll even lock this in place and move it. So it's in, kind of clipped inside. There we go. That's not bad. That's not too shabby. Probably do one right here. I will have to figure something out right here. And then maybe one of these right here. And then maybe a half wall, re-emphasizing the fact that this is a and this is floating weirdly, so let's just, I'm gonna lower you into the ground a bit. Yeah, right about there. Like, this is a half cover wall, so maybe that this is the weakest point of the wall if they wanted to try to sneak in. That could be fun. Let's see what we have. How about adding some cages for prisoners? I mean, guests. Yeah, yeah, oh, for sure. Yogurt, that's totally possible. Maybe they have, like, depending what they've been doing here, maybe they have been collecting locals for their imperials, so work camps. What evil atrocities are the Empire, committing this week? That's the question for the GM. Particularly if this is some kind of maintenance base, some kind of mining base of some kind. We might have to stretch this a little bit more to make these two fit, because I kind of like that position of these two towers. So to make this work, we're going to have to get a little bit more, give it a little bit more of a whoop, whoop, whoop. And give me a movement tool. You basically get a game of kind of Legos going on. See, now this kind of bent inwards, so maybe that's what we should do. We should use two of these, bend them inwards, and then have like a small, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll use a small tower in the center. So I need a volume scale again. I'm actually gonna make you smaller, not wider. Give you a quick rotation. Oh, no. If you ever screw up on something you probably can't fix, there's a back button, rewind time. You may have to hit it 1 or 2 times to get back where you want it. There goes our wall flying across the world space. We are listening to one of the best soundtracks in gaming, the Elder Scrolls soundtrack. It gets me in that RPG mood, even though this is a Star Wars game that I'm planning. There we go. It's also making me want to go back and play our permadeath paladin character Duma here on Twitch. That was the last campaign we were running. I still have the character for all you guys who've been wondering where he is. But you know how it goes. Gotta be in the mood for a particular kind of game. Found myself recommending tons of mods to Palatime. I need to get back with him and find out what he's gonna end up playing as. There we go. And we'll do like one of these small towers, or maybe even double 2 of these up. I'm gonna shrink you down. So it could easily be that this connects here as and we put a guard up there. We could put an E-web up there if we wanted to. E-web is one of the large, heavy weapons. If you're playing D&D, that could be your crossbow, That could be your crossbow weapon system. Oh, that actually looks really good, clipped right through there. Look at that. Kind of looking down. So, it's getting a little bit more built up. Originally, I was like, oh yeah, it'll just be like a scout base somewhere, and I had planned on doing it out of wood. Last minute just decided, meh, let's go. Let's go. See, I shrank it instead of stretching it, and now it's not tall. It's not the same height. I think it's more important that they're the same height than they are the same length. There we go. Pop that in there. Volume scaler. It's gonna... Oh, no, I didn't lock you. Remember to lock your walls, people. Don't be me. Mistakes have been made. The Empire does not really do wood. Sure they do. If it's a scout group who's got temporary a base, maybe they're passing through the area, maybe it's just a short assignment. you know, you use what you've got on hand. Or maybe they took it from someone else. This could have been somebody else's military camp at some point. You can come up with all kinds of reasons that the Empire would have a wooden structure as their defense option. Why not? Why not? Or they've taken it. They've taken it from their enemies, you know, recently. We should make this taller. I'm getting a little stuck in the weeds right now. I need to, yeah, I like that tower in the middle. There's still a little bit of like this portion of the wall showing, but no, it looks good. It looks like it's been poured Curacrete. Awesome sauce. I dig it. I dig it. What do we got? Another section of wall. Let's get the wall done over here. And then we'll move on to maybe making a gate. Now, the way that I've recently had a lot of fun making gates, is actually cutting them out in Photoshop. So find an image of a sci-fi like hangar door, and then cut it as a PNG. Cut it up as a PNG, and you should be good. I need one of these, please. Thank you. Make a couple extras. Swap you around. Random Tau technology. My players don't know that, though, so it's okay. A wooden Death Star. Okay, that's a bit much. Death by 1,000 splinters, I guess. And we'll just go with a volume scale and give it a little bit of a stretch. Here. Paint in a happy little wall. We need that emote now. Can somebody do that? Can somebody make us a happy little Captain Shack emote? I would love that. We'll put it on the Discord and the Twitch channel. Oh, shit, we moved it because we didn't lock it down because we're bad. See how I wrap you guys into it? It's not me, it's you, it's we. I don't like it. I don't like it. And you can definitely get kind of wrapped up in this. I'll do some more of the detail work later, though. We don't have to do the whole thing on camera, he says, continuing to fiddle. All right, there we go. We have our wall up and online. It's got one major entrance. It's got a weak section of the wall back here, but it is covered by the large cannon of doom. I would say this is, you know, a pretty heavy caliber weapon. So we're gonna want to maybe add like a control panel here that the players could interact with. Maybe put some wires on the ground. A lot of fun that could be had. Let's mess with those half walls that I was talking about. So knowing that that's kind of a weak section, the Empire put some random light blockades up. Blockades? Barricades. I know word speaks. And so they've kind of rode these up. Nothing too impressive. Just kind of filled in the wall section here, thinking, you know, oh no! See, I messed it up, and I hit L on the actual wood panel or the ground panel underneath it. So we're gonna go back, put that back where it was. Let's see. The Worsher tree bark is the wood. Wookiee stuff. Well, Wookiee wood is totally different, he says. That's a sentence that just came out of my mouth. Because that stuff's like, we're gonna have to hit back a couple of times. That stuff's supposed to be like hard as metal, right? Okay, it's still going. It's still unlocked. Because it's unlocked and it's moved a lot of things, we may have to hit back a couple of times. That might have been one too many. No, we're good. They're good. It's locked. Everything's back to the place it was. So just keep hitting it until it works. Let's get rid of the name on this. Control A, select everything, and then backspace to delete. And then we're gonna lock it down properly. Yeah, all right, let me get rid of you two. So nothing pops up when they put their mouse over it. And then we'll put one more over here. This one I think will downscale a little bit. There we go. Now remember, this looks like it's underdefended, and obviously it is. But you could set traps there. There's also the whole climbing up that's a challenge that the player would have to overcome. You know, I say that, but knowing players, they're going to be like, we fly over the base and we hot drop in from above. Or we like a high altitude drop if they've got the gear. There's all kinds of crazy your players can do. If they're creative about it. Your mileage may vary, as it is in any tabletop game. Some days my players are super creative, and some days I don't know, they just kind of lose it. Let's see. Yep, forgot to lock that down. Did I forget to lock you down too? Nope. All right, cool. Scooch you over a bit. Lock it. Gizmo tool or movement tool. Move you over a little. We'll probably futz with this when we put a tower in, or a gate in right here. See, they're not even, and now that bothers me, because it's not even with the road. What if we made the bridge wider? And then I'm thinking rotate it into the wall, into the ground a bit. Like that, and then bring it down. Okay, not that far. Went too far. We've gone too far. We've got to go back. Just so it looks like it makes sense. We might even put a spotlight somewhere. That could be fun. Put a searchlight on top of one of these or something. All of these walls have text on them. Oh, no. Just copy and Control A, backspace, U, Control A, backspace. Now this won't come up anymore. Last thing you want is it telling your players that it's got a landing bay, and they will read that to you every time they see it. I'm not better. Oh, there's still one over here too. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, yep. All right, nice. Let's get rid of these ATSTs. That's not the route we're gonna go. I think we all agreed in chat that a transport was a better choice. We're obviously gonna wanna have some heavy pallets of supplies. So let's go ahead and do that as well and cover up some more of this shenanigans that we've got here. These tents, right? We'll put a couple of these out and about. Just kind of flop one over here too. Supplies, more supplies, awesome sauce. We could scatter a couple of cargo crates around if we really wanted to. Use up some of this extra detail that we've already pulled out before we go for more. The other part of this, and the reason that I'm doing it, is this is covered, right? This is interactable stuff that the players could use. Hell, they might even be like, hey, what's in this box that I'm using for cover? And I'm like, it's high explosives. And, oh, shit. Roll a perception check with 3 reds. Yeah, you're hiding behind one of their missile ammunition boxes. You realize it's probably not the best cover. Yeah, that kind of thing. You can have a lot of fun with it. There's also some heavy boxes here we can throw in somewhere. So maybe we'll like road this up along the center there. Right then. So now that we've got that, get rid of that. Got some heavy machinery. Maybe this is part of the power generator that's running the system here. And now, here's the deal. When you're making a map and you've got an idea on where your players may end up, if they don't end up using it, then repurpose it, right? The whole point may be to take out this power generator in this base for a different objective. Or maybe it's a pirate base. You know, you can just pull out the Imperials and put down some pirates. Or it's been taken over by rat ghouls, or who knows? Whatever your plot is, whatever your story is, it's an archaeological dig site for one of the mega corporations. You can have all kinds of fun with it. So don't ever feel like you're wasting your time when you're making a map like this. It can always be used for something stupid or awesome later on, depending what you want. All right. There is a little bit of a weirdness. If you zoom in too close, sometimes the PNGs disappear. I don't know why. I think it's because I used too large of an image. Let's use this sidewall, though. Okay, I'm not sure what it's trying to do there. It looks like it's... I think this landing platform needs to go away, because we're not going to have a landing platform here. This is like a scout. Scout team has set up shop. I'm starting to think maybe these rounded walls aren't going to work. Or maybe they're built up around a ruin. That could be fun. We could find some kind of large stone structure to put here. Maybe. Maybe. I'm locking things down so they don't highlight. That way they don't get bumped around too much. Ooh, something. Something came up. Get rid of that. All right. Well, let's look into something. Let's look into something interesting, something new. So we're gonna go into games. We're gonna go to another asset bundle that I have subscribed to. Light spheres expand. Give me spotlights. Now you don't know what time of day our players are going to arrive in this base. So why don't we have a little bit of fun? Let's delete you. We've got a couple of glowing light spheres, and we can lock these down. Now, I've already set them. What you saw me do here was I spawned them in. It's right there. There it is. They're invisible. Right-click it, go to looping effect on these, and just look up light spheres. And you can find, let's do a red 30. Because they're Imperial, it's red, why not? You can make all kinds of fun light sources. And they don't have to be spotlights like these are. They can be, lock that, gizmo tool, transform tool. They can be the light source from a fire. They can be the glowing screens of monitors on a bridge. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with these. I'm using the spotlight because I'm actually making a spotlight. So, my players say, all right, we found the base and we've scouted it out, but we've decided that we're going to go in at night. Oh, you're gonna go in at night, are you? Okay. It is now night on the map. With all of the the lights will now really shine brightly, like you can really see them. And I can say, okay, that light source, and if I'm really feeling cheeky in the game, I can be like, that light source is moving and scanning. And so the players have to work around those setbacks, you know? I wish I could get this to automatically do it. There's probably a script out there for something like that, but for now, we're just gonna have it light up the bridge, partially. I'll bring the lights back up so it's easier to see what the heck is going on the table while we build. So the lights aren't gonna be looking that impressive, but they're there. I did do 2 of them, didn't I? So where's the other one? Light source right there. Why don't we move you? We'll do 1 at the bridge, and then we'll do 1 over here. And maybe we'll put in an asset to represent the light source if we find one that looks cool. But for now, we'll do it from the top of this tower. Shit, where'd it go? Fell off. Gotcha. Locked it in place. Grab this tool. Gotta move it so it's shining off of something. We're not gonna be able to see it. And not blocked by the tower below it. I think this one's only set to 10. Yeah, we want it to go to 30. Give me more power. And then downwards, there we go. And they're invisible, so once you off-click, you're set. So now we've got a searchlight. Have one of the other turrets as a sight beam. It's an interesting idea. But I like the idea that they're skirting around the lights. The lights are independent of the turrets, so they not only have to stealth away from like maybe the guards that are standing up here, but as the turret moves around, it changes the difficulty of the roll. Which could be fun. All right, what do we got? We're not gonna use the bunker section. We've already got a heavy plate. We've already got blockades up there. We don't need any more wall sections. Oh, is that a lie? There are extra wall bits. I feel like they should be smaller wall bits. Delete that. Delete that. Let's see what we've got. What I need is a ground vehicle. Let me see if we've got... Anybody remember what the Imperial APC is called? It might literally just be called Imperial APC. I could be... Star Wars. Okay. That's in Legos. That's hilarious. There we go. Copy image address. So I found a PNG of the Imperial APC. So what I'll do is go to components. Once again, those tokens. Pop one in. Get up here. There you are. Sometimes it'll fall through the map. We've got APCs now. Now there's a few ways you can do this. You can keep them flat like this if you want to. Okay. You can go to components, custom, figurine, put the URL in there. And now you've got them And with the latest update, they've actually made it so when you go to custom, you can actually change the scale. So let's make it like a scale 3. That way the icon is smaller. Now you've got a hovering one. The reason that it looks so dark is probably because we didn't turn up the ambient light. Objects. No. We want options. Options, lighting. For whatever reason, these are always a little bit darker. You can bring up ambient, but if you bring it up too far, it's going to be blinding you. So that might be one way of doing it, and then have them like set up here. The other thing you can do is, if you don't have a model for it, you can use an alternative model from another asset. So let's see. This is the one from Rebels. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. I'm looking to see if there's a top-down image of it, because sometimes that's better, because when you use it as a token, you can look straight down at it, and it makes a bit more sense. I actually thought I had... let's see, I think it's under sci-fi. I have a model of a tank. Here it is. The question is, though, it's not going to be a Star Wars one. So do you want to just have something that represents the vehicle? There it is, the Gorian tank. Or however you say that. Like, I've got this that we could use and say that's the APC instead. There's a bunch of ways that you can do it. And maybe someday somebody will actually make a 3D model of this, though. I'm actually thinking what I'm going to do is something completely different. Make sure I have that copied still. Objects. Components. I will take the token. Max thickness. Import. Make it bigger. Maybe not that big. That looks really goofy. Maybe about half. And then stick it off the ground as if it's hovering. So, one way of doing it. There's a few ways. Make it work for you. I'll unclick that so we can actually move it around for combat purposes. But you got yourself an APC. See if I can find it from the top down. Oh, wow, I found an ATPT. I forgot that was a thing. Imperial APC Star Wars. Sometimes if you type in the word token when you're searching images, you'll get some luck. Someone's already done it. In this case, that is, well, that's just not the case. Actually, I know an object we can use, potentially. Let's see. If it's in here. You guys who love Warhammer are going to give me some shit for this, but sometimes if you want an icon that looks a little bit better, take what you got. Use what you got. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? That's a map. There it is. Prepare for 1 billion models to pop up. We need conch droids. Let's see, what kind of APCs do we have in here? A number of APCs. I'm a little hesitant to use these because I have used the Imperial Guard as a faction for a different faction in the universe already to represent them. So, okay, that's a really weird model. Where in the world is their general APC? There it is. See, and that looks a little overarmed for what it is. Now, I wonder... Okay, come on, let me grab you. Oh, it's a container. Oh, that's cool. So this is an APC. I didn't even think about this. This is actually quite clever. What they've done is they've made this into a container you can actually put infantry into. How cool is that? That's clever. All right, we're going to do something silly. We're going to try... I've never done this before. we're going to try to attach this to that so it stands upright. Let's see. Is there a better image of this? Probably not. So we're going to lock... no, we're not going to lock it. Yeah, we're going to lock it so it stays put. We're going to lock the APC. Now, one of the other tools that I did want to show today that I didn't think I'd be doing it in this fashion is the link tool. So we're going to get you... Okay, 90. All right, hang on. You unclip yourself. There we go. We're going to rotate it. Rotation on the x-axis by 90. We're going to use the link tool and see if we can get this to attach to that for the purposes of this map. Now, I don't know if it will save linked objects, so we're going to learn something together. What I need is a flat-on image of this. I think it's actually called the troop carrier. Rebel troop, Imperial troop carrier. They're all at an angle. That sucks. They've never seen one of these, so I'm kind of love the idea of having one of these in here. Yeah, we could put the grav tank from Rogue One in here. That would be easy enough, but... Oh, crap! No, I off-clicked it. If you don't do the thing you want to do, it's gonna just fall off. Well, I'll show how the link tool works anyways. Even if we don't end up keeping this. Oh, good grief. It put itself in there. Okay, I should lock it. So the link tool is this right here. This is the joint tool, excuse me, the joint tool. And what it does is it allows you to join two objects together and they'll stay hooked together. So in this instance, if we want to say slap a image of an Imperial armored personnel carrier, excuse me, APC, then what you would do is get it where you want it to be. That is haphazard and awful. But get the object where you want it to be. I'm not going to use this. Grab the object you want to be linked to something else and drag over to the thing you want to link to. These two things are now linked. So if I were to unlock them both, they will now stay linked and move around. That's pretty terrible because they're actually, you're looking at them from different angles. But yeah, that's how that works. And then we can just delete it. If you want to unlink them, you grab the thing you want to unlink and just drag off into nothing. See me dragging off into nothing in the top corner of the screen? So there's nothing highlighted, and now it is suddenly unlinked from whatever it was linked to in the first place. Easy peasy. Not too shabby. So, I found an image of that APC from a variety of angles. Cool. That looks like a lot of Photoshop work. Eee, all right, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll just use it as a token for right now. So, objects, components, custom. Figure. The problem with the figure, and the reason I'm not thrilled with using it, is because I want the players to know which is the back and which is the front. You know, what side they are on when they're around it. So I'm probably going to use something else to identify this as what it is. 2D image. And I found one, but I'd have to Photoshop it for a while. So we're going to use you for now. So maybe an APC. Let's get a couple of speeder bikes in here, and I believe my players already have some for me. They do. There we go. Let me see if I can find a better image from an Imperial one. Imperial speeder bike. PNG. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can find one that's actually a PNG. It's always a trick. You can't see it, just doing a quick Google search. All right, we're gonna go back to the desktop there. So here is our make a new foil. They've never actually seen one of these before. We're gonna use this fella. Delete that background. How much of that does it actually delete? That's not bad. It's pretty much perfect. There we go. We've got a speeder bike now. Once again, making a quick PNG file of it. Gonna throw it over into my Discord channel, or whatever your hosting image is. There's a lot of heavy thinking going on by my PC. There it goes. And file, save as, and so I don't have to go finding the folder that I put it in. I can just go right here, look for the bike. There it is. Drag it into here. Grab, copy pasta, the URL, and we are back. It took me all of what? 2 seconds? maybe 15 seconds to get that into the game. So we just do one of these. I just copied that. Paste the URL. We can do it this way. We can make it a 2D image. However you want to do it. Customize, it's a little too tall. Let's make that a scale 2. And then blow it up. So, I don't know. Maybe a token would be better. Customize. Paste. And then if you wanted just the bikes chilling on their own. Oops, it's upside down. If you wanted just the bikes chilling on their own, just find an image of just the bikes. Which honestly, I kind of like the top-down one better. If we want to establish that they have enemy units coming in, that might be the better way of doing it. So we're going to keep you behind the GM screen as like, these are scout troopers coming, or Imperial security forces are on their way. Whereas these would be just the bikes themselves stored here somewhere. So what we need to do, if we're going to do some storage, let's grab another object. Now, I have some saved objects. We'll pull that bag out. Let's not use that one. I've got some saved objects in here that I've used time and again for all kinds of fun stuff. So let's just do some metal grates. They've thrown down some metal platforms for the bike storage. We can blow these up a bit. Also to cover up some of these random, like, fantasy-esque bits underneath. Doesn't have to be perfect, because these are just a storage spot for maybe the maintenance area for the bikes. So we'll put 2 of these down. Can even lock them in place so they're hovering slightly off the ground. This is where we put a couple of maintainers as well, right? We can even grab a few fuel barrels, or whatever these barrels you want them to be. There we go. Maintenance area, right? That's a space tent. Hey, it could be. I mean, why wouldn't Imperials not have tents? Why would tent technology no longer be useful for a long-term deployment, maybe? Just checking to see if there's anything else we want. Like chairs. Always use chairs. Sun GR75. Indeed. And if we ended up wanting to make this like a landing pad up here, we could totally do that. Not that that's what I think we should do, because that kind of goes without... doesn't really turn it into a scout base, but... Some more ground elements that we can use here. Some metal plating. Let's see. Maybe this is like another kind of fuel canister. Or energy cell storage for their weapons. Just getting the little details in there. Alright. Let's move this out of the way. Got an idea for you. You come with me. I actually like this being maybe a tented area and actually have a campfire there. I think we're going to keep the bottom, but we're going to get rid of these carts. And the way I'm going to do that is give me this. Take this over here. This music is just a wee bit too epic for me right now. And let's say they put down some plating to flatten out this area, maybe for heavy vehicles or something. So we'll just go ahead. Are you flat? You're actually flat? Yeah. All right. Oops. Move it over maybe a little bit more. Okay, kind of dig that. Oh no, I didn't make a copy of it. Don't be me. Don't freak out. Lock it down. Yeah, that's gotta move. All right, go ahead and flatten out by unlocking it. Let's move it back. There's a lot of fiddling to be done, right? There's like a lot of little tiny things that you can do to make it really work for you. We do have the copy of it now, so we can stick that there. Can I just flip you over? Nope, gotta rotate it. And that's not what I wanted. Click you, rotation. Let me get I'm gonna brain fart here. What would that be? The Z-axis? Y-axis maybe? Maybe 90 more degrees. There we go. Make sure it's on a flat piece of terrain before we move it. Lock it. This does look like something that they would just deploy, doesn't it? It doesn't quite cover what I meant to cover up to begin with. Main entranceway? It doesn't look too bad. I might change it up a bit more. Let's get this out of the way. I think this is going to be our ramp. This is going to be our stairs. They slap down like a metal plate. Oops. There it is. And maybe move it downwards. Right before it clips. There we go. Oops. Crap. Screwed it up. There we go. We've got a ramp up there now. Let's get rid of that. I'm not going to use it. A reactor leak? What's up with the black leak? What? A broken down lat? I mean, only if you're in a Clone Wars era battle zone. I mean, that makes sense. I try to be careful with the Clone Wars stuff that I put in. It's too easy to want to just like slap it in anywhere you want. I do think we do need some campsite elements here. So let's look through here and see what we've got. Now, I believe one of these may have what we're looking for. Potentially this one. Let's see. Just gonna flip through these real quick. That is a big nope. There's one called the D&D Unwatched Masses. If you're ever looking for like ruins or statues or, I mean, just all kinds of really random stuff. Old buildings. Grave stuff. Like there's some weirdness in here for sure. So if we did want to make this like even more of a ruiny area, I wonder if they have like another broken statue potentially. We could use that. Not what we're looking for right now. Let's see. The kind of campsite that this actually was before the Empire got here may be very broken. Maybe just like junk and trash from whoever once owned this place and they took it from them. So we could go with a bit of refuse near the gate entranceway here, kind of covering up some of this as well. And then when the players get there, you can describe, what this used to be a campsite for passing travelers. There's some spiked walls here as well. That is a full ship, isn't that? Yes, it is. That is a full, like, galleon. I love it. Junked ship. Very cool. Still looking for a campsite. This is the one, I think. Nope, this is the one with all the food and the beds and stuff. Yeah, there's no. I might not have it anymore. I may have to look for a new one. Hilltop encampment. That's what we're looking for. So, horses, crates, bedrolls. It's gonna have like proper Imperial. Oh, balls. Back. Was that before it freaked out? Yes, yes it was. Cool. Small tent. Oh, its texture's gone all weird. I think they've got another one on here. Doesn't look like it. Red tents. I might be able to make it work. Campfire. There it is. All right. Flip you back over. Maybe not in the way of the entrance. Now, as players sneaking through, I could see them getting to this step, right? Actually sneaking past and up here and finding the tents. And for some of my more sneaky characters, they might end up wanting to, let's go ahead, go in and quietly dispatch of any guards. What a great opportunity for them to be able to do that if I put, the sleeping quarters area. Let's make that smaller. There we go. Would you let me? Yes, you would. All right. So if you ever have a texture issue or you want to make a statue out of a particular model that you have, or you want to change the color of something, look up a new image. We're going to use an Imperial flag. That is not the right Empire. Always put Star Wars first before you search that. Sometimes it helps to put the word texture. Oh, I clicked on shopping. Wow, you can get an Imperial flag for $22.99. I don't know how this is going to look. Let's find out. Right-click the thing you want to retexture, go to diffuse image, and put the image in there, and give it a second. You're colorized, aren't you? That's why you're that color. Look at that. That's not bad. I like it. That's actually pretty good. Scout group would have access to, survival gear and equipment issued by the Empire. Why not? That took me 2 seconds to search for, by the way. That's not bad at all. I like it. So much so I kind of want to put more down. Let's put some over here. This is going to be more of an infantry-focused campsite, right? So why don't we double down on that? Let's maybe even make these a little bit bigger. Make you a little bit bigger. So stream, what do you think? What are we missing? The officer's tent needs to be massive. Delete that shuttle. Well, that would be the one up here, wouldn't it? And it's so big, in fact, that we might want to do an interior on this. So what I can do... Let's get rid of these walls. These walls are too much. These walls are, I think, a bit unnecessary. Maybe. Actually, put the wall back. Let me see that again. Obviously, we're missing people. Yeah, we definitely need to get people in here. What I'm thinking is, have the tent be up here. Something needs to go right here. Or maybe just another wall. Maybe that's... Alright, let me remove the tent for now. We can build this space up, the officer's area, and the interior of the officer area. So maybe we can get some intelligence in there for the players to discover. And actually have, like, the data pad inside the tent. So when they come up here and they're like, what's inside the tent? I can delete the tent and everything will be there waiting for them to see. I think that could be very interesting. Potentially. Does that look good enough? I'm willing to say yes. I think it does. Shaq, you need to move the texture of the turret over a bit. I'm not. It's literally just an image off of Google. I'm not gonna futz too much with it. I mean, I might try... Let's see. What if we did this one? Because any resolution change should move it over a bit. Is that better or worse? It's literally the same. Like, position. Maybe if it's the images in itself is not centered. Oh, there's one. That'll work. I know, it's not very exciting watching me click off screen, so give me 2 seconds. I just saw one and then I lost it. You like the darker color? It's kind of cool. Did it not copy? That one's a little too much. I think the darker color looks like it's worn. That looks just kind of silly. Like they're supposed to be a scout group and they've got bright colors. You are the stealthiest of Imperial troopers, aren't you? I mean, I wouldn't put past them. We'll do a mix. We've got like the veterans tents that are beat to hell and have taken a lot of dirt, and then we've got like the privates, the newly established tents. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. It looks like we need stumps. I wonder if I've got a stump. Let's see. Actually, if we go into here, expand, what do you got? Nothing! You have failed me. What about in here, perhaps? We got rocks, which is something I was actually looking for. Bump. And burp. And grab some rocks out of here. It's such random stuff you can pull. That's a token of rocks. We don't need a token of rocks. And more rocks. When in doubt, more rocks. When in doubt, add more rocks. Tree stump is what we're looking for, everybody. Custom model for bushes, which is a really weird one to have to click on. There we go. Is this? What is this? No, it looks like a crater from like a dive bomber or something. This is a World War II battle map, by the way, if anybody's wondering what I'm looking at here. City battle map. Like I said, you can use just about anything. This works great for ruins, if you ever want ruins for your city. You can sit and spend hours exploring the workshop and all the cool things that players have made. And you'll come up with some really neat stuff. So basically, I grabbed this so we can have... That looks like that needs to be a tree, doesn't it? Hey, tree, come here. Oh, shit. Hang on a second. I hit the wrong button. I unlocked the map underneath. Where do you throw your D20? Well, we don't use D20 for this, but you throw it either... If the players want to, they can roll their dice on their little area. They can roll them, you know, off to the side. Hell, a lot of the big rolls we'll just do right on the table wherever there's an open spot. Doesn't really matter. Ain't no thing. Okay, back. Let's hit the back button a couple times. There's even a dice tower in the top that we've got that you can players can use if they really want to. Oh, sweet babies, what have we done? Gotta keep hitting back till it works. There we go, fixed it. Jeez. Hoi. All right, so this is supposed to have some bushes around it. So let's get a copy of that. Put some bushes over here. Put some... Make a bush here. Maybe one there. I still want this tree. Let's try not to unlock the base itself. If it says the base underneath, don't hit L. Oops. Got it. The most unhelpful. Now, we could knock this over like the Empire knocked it over. I kind of like the idea that they just left a tree there, obscuring their vision in one direction. A little bit, giving them a little bit of cover. The players, I mean. I think that's good for trees. Scatter a few rocks around. Particularly on this side, if there are any. Change their sizes, give them a little bit of a rotation, you know, a little bit more detail in there. Yeah, looks good. It's coming along. Oh, right, so we've got this campfire. Let me grab you. I really like these tents. That worked surprisingly well. I wasn't so sure about having medieval tents. But for like a recon group, kind of cool with it. It's been here probably a little longer than they would have liked, you know? So they've started to settle in. They've got some chairs. They've hijacked from somewhere, who knows? Maybe it was part of the original group that held this little area. Go ahead and lock those so they don't move around too much. Maybe throw a table down if we want to. Put some Pazak cards on there. Looks like we got a little bit of a bush in there too. So why don't I grab another bush copy? Slap you down right. Eesh. Oh, goy, hoi. Hey, come back here. Shrink you way down. Lock. Movement. All right, there we go. Not bad. Not bad. So, we've got a big tent up here. What are we going to set up for that? And we also were going to have... What happened to that bedroll that I had? Did I get rid of it? I might have gotten rid of the bedrolls. That's okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the tree stumps with, like, the occasional rock and a bush. The idea being cover for the players. If they end up tripping an alarm, getting spotted by a probe droid, something to allow them to have a little bit of cover as they make their way across. At least maybe one of them. I don't think all of them would fit behind most of these rocks. But there we go. Look at that little base, though. Not bad. That looks silly huge, doesn't it? Yeah, that needs work. I feel the scout group would have probe droids. You see, I love having probe droids. Probe droids are fun because it gives a reason for a stealth check. And it gives me a skill base to space the scout check off of. So when in doubt, probe out. So probe, Imperial Officer. Let's get maybe a heavy stormtrooper in here, a normal stormtrooper in here, and now we've got these to have access to. So Imperial Officer, obviously going to be up in his big-ass tent up top. Get rid of that description. I'm going to lock him. Normally wouldn't lock an icon, but I'm going to put an actual tent over him. Heavy troopers, you know, we could scatter them about a bit. Could do like a heavy trooper over here if we wanted guarding this way. We could do... I should remove that. And we can stat these any way we want. And as a GM, I recommend doing this. Type in the stats of your dudes down here so you can keep track of them. You don't have to put a name or a description unless you want a description, something special about them, like this stormtrooper seems to be carrying a Z6 with a shield attachment to it, so that the players would see as they reveal the enemy. But the GM stuff only you can see. It's invisible, so you can put information that you need in there. Another thing that I might do is I might decide to give these guys slight coloration to let me know. Oh, did I just move something? To let me know if they're in a squad, because stormtroopers are minions, and in this game, unlike D&D, you have minions, and I'll probably like make them a little bit smaller. It gives you an idea of how many troops are in the minion group, and that affects how much damage they can do, what their skill rolls are, because they're considered minions. Basically, your mooks, you're going to be fighting these guys in big groups. So you might have like the darker gray ones as one group. This is going to be like group 1 of the minion group that could respond to a threat. Let's make you a different color. Hey, RIW747, thank you for the tier 1, I appreciate it. 'Twas a sub before the holidays. Thank you guys for all the support today. I appreciate it. All right. Maybe make this group a bit lighter colored. We go all the way white and make this the shiny group. There we go. And maybe make it a group of 5. So we've got a handful of minions scattered about. And I can divide them up here. But I know what group they're in because they're all the same color. Maybe this guy's actually in the tent. And I could say that when they poke their heads in. Okay, so there's that, there's that. We don't have any scout troopers. For the scouting group, we don't really have any scout troopers. I mean, maybe I should have just used scout troopers to begin with. E-Web, definitely gonna have a heavy weapons platform. Do I not have a scout trooper as just a general? I don't. And this has been a problem. This has been an issue for me for a long time, is that I don't think I have a scout trooper model in general. Let me see if I've got... this is the updated version, so there's more models in here than the one I have on the table. I need the Star Wars box. Give me that. Yeah, there's 158 versus I think like the 70-something that this one has. So keep an eye on your stuff too, because sometimes it'll get outdated. I think it's mostly clone troopers, though. Let's see, Scout Trooper. Scout Trooper. AT pilots, AT-AT pilots. ARC troopers. Gamorreans, E-Webs, ATSTs, Grand Admiral Thrawn, a little bit much for my players, I think, at this point, or ever. An Evo Stormtrooper. Huh. Pilots, Grievous, Jawas. But guess what they don't have? No Scout Troopers. That's all right, though. What we can do is just run over to Google again. Scout Trooper token. And we find a PNG of a Scout Trooper. our Scout Trooper PNG. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab a... Oh, there we go. We're going to have a couple of Scout Snipers. Scary thing. The Scout... Oh, Jesus, that's huge. Let's make you smaller. So Scout Snipers, that rifle that they have is scary in this game. Very scary. It might even be worthwhile to set them up... Maybe set one up on the tower side on the north and then one on the south. And then give them a little bit of cover up there so it looks like, you know, it's a platform that's been built so they can get up there. So what we can grab... We'll grab one of these half-cover walls. Oh, shit. Every time I do a map. Every single time. Never fails. Be careful what you click on. Give me that. There we go. Gonna lock you for a second. Drop a wall on you. And then when the players are like, why are there so many setbacks? Well, it's because they've got cover. My dude. Maybe make you custom... no. That would be the tent I clicked on. Oh, you're locked. That's right. Custom, make you oh, you're a 4. Let's make you a 1. And then, okay, maybe a 2. I love this card scale as a thing now. It changes the base ratio, the ratio to the base to the actual icon. Because you'd get these huge bases and these tiny little characters. It was really frustrating. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just needs to look like it works. A little bit more cover up here. You know what actually would be... no, that's not very Imperial. I was going to put sandbags. Yeah, I was actually going to put sandbags up here, but that's more of a rebel thing, I think, or maybe a local faction, not really Imperials. If they can get their metal barricades up. If they can put this base together, they can get some metal barricades. So that's what we're going to call it. That's what we're going to do. There we go. I hate this says heavy cover on it, so let's get rid of it. All right, we got Scout Troopers. I'm going to bamf you out of here real quick. Oh, no. This is the one we put the lights... Okay, we're going to put them on this side. The light sphere is over there, and it is a physical object. So it will interact with the stuff you're trying to put on there, and it will drive you batty trying to figure out why you can't place something in there. Realizing, and I should copy this, realizing that there's an invisible light cube. That's our spotlight over there. So there we go. There we go. And sorta, kind of good. Yeah, that works. Boop, boop, boop. Damn, it all says heavy barricade cover, and it's gonna drive me batty. So unless my players get a height advantage, this cover is going to give them setbacks if they try to shoot these snipers off of there. Not that they wouldn't be able to do it because, you know, players. So there we go. Not bad. Are you still recording this? I am still recording this. This is still a long recording. Is there any questions for you guys either on the YouTube side of things, which I will respond in the comments section. Here on Twitch, I can respond to right now. But there you go, guys. There's the basis for a Imperial base. There's still a lot of work I can do here. You know, I can still fill this in with a bunch of cool stuff. I can give him a ridiculously oversized bed because he's an Imperial jerk who's had it like shipped into this forward operating base. There's all kinds of weird stuff that we can do to add on to here. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask now and I will try to answer them. While I do that, let me go ahead and grab a save, which you probably want to do more often than I have a habit of doing. Fresh new map, overwrite. Due to the fact that if their end goes down, it kicks you out of the game. It's one of those always online titles. Drive you nuts. Luckily, we didn't lose anything, so. An officer needs some Java juice, indeed. And once you've finished your map, all you got to do is come over here, right? Get your menu opened up. If it doesn't work, that means you probably need to initialize it. We did do a a bunch of back clicking, so it might have done something weird. So just initialize, it has an eye on it. Once it's initialized, menu, go to pack, and watch the map. Okay, here's the map. I'm gonna hit pack. Pack. And it'll all go into a little baggie, and the baggie will disappear. And the baggie will disappear. Didn't disappear. That's weird. Why didn't he disappear? Yeah, that's everything from it. Huh. And then let's go to last. We'll pull it back up. Let's see if it disappears when I do this. And then we're gonna click build. And it'll unpack everything from the bag. Oh, there's that bag is still there. So it was supposed to, there, the bag's removed itself. The bag isn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to go away. I'm not sure why it was still there, but that's how you save it. So you can switch through in one game in real quick succession. I can do this. Now, if you've got, if you're like me and you like to use the Fog of War system, that's what I said I was going to talk about. Fog of War system. All right, let me clear that again. You've made your map, your players are together, they've decided that they're gonna go after the imp base tower thing. So what you're gonna wanna do, let me go ahead and clear this completely. We got a blank map. And the players are like, all right, we wanna go there. Let's scout it out, guys. Let's approach quietly. We're gonna scout. So you don't want them to see the entire map where all the enemies are, right? So what you do is, you go up to zones, you click Fog of War, and you start at the corner, and you drag out to the next corner. Everything in the Fog of War your players will not be able to see. Just like an RTS, right? That kind of Fog of War. Then you load up your map. So I'll go to last, because it's the last thing we loaded. Or in this case, here's what we'll do. I will, because they gave us the little icon right here when we made it. That pops up once you've made a thing. Why don't we go to Namati map first? When you get this little icon, if you want to spawn it someplace. All right, say I want to put this on Anshin. Okay, drag and drop. Now you've got a button. Now you can click that button. You can put it anywhere you want. And say that tower is on Anshin. Double click it up here once you've clicked on it once, and it will pop it up. Now if you've made your Fog of War square, they're not going to be able to see any of this. Click build. And there you go. Now everything is hidden within the Fog of War. And they shouldn't be able to see it. Now let me double check this. Changing color. We're going to switch over to Tabby's position. There are a few elements that they can see, strangely enough. Now I've had this issue before, and I don't quite understand it, where some things are revealed. Maybe the Fog of War wasn't big enough, because I did make this kind of a vertical map. So what you can do on that instance then is grab the Fog of War. It can be scaled like any other object. Just click it. Something you might want to experiment with before your players play. And then bring it up. There we go. Yeah, those snipers were too tall. They were too high up. And we can even bring it down a little bit. That's probably too far. There we go. And there. Now, whatever reason, sometimes some items won't be hidden. I don't know why this is here. It's not set to be revealed. There's no reason that these should be here. Yet here they are. This is here too for some reason, and so are these two grates. So they look like they're all from the same pack too, which is really bizarre. We're still looking from her perspective, but you know, there's not enough there to give away what it is. So that's Fog of War. Now, one of the cool things about the Fog of War, if we grab Shaw's character here, say they come in from the south side of the map. I've got Shaw set up so she can only see so far. Let me change. She's not seeing the map underneath it, so what we're gonna have to do is change color real quick, go to the GM screen so I can see what's going on. You can see her perspective too. What I'm gonna do to fix this, because sometimes the map doesn't allow it, is to make it so the map is immune to Fog of War. Can I click it? Can I click it? I can't click it. It's being silly. All right, let me just remove it. Remove it for now. Click Fog of War. Click the map icon. Oh, world. Camera, load. I need to fix the fog of war by clicking it and telling it. Because you can let objects, like let me click this guy, and I can make him toggle ignore fog of war, and he'll always show up. But for whatever reason, I cannot click this. And push rewind again. Will we be able to see the D&D campaign? What D&D campaign? This one? No. This is a Star Wars campaign that we're still working on. There we go. Yeah, I just had to click back. That's bizarre. And then we can go ignore fog of war. And now it'll always show up. So they'll see a little bit of the elements. They'll see the terrain in the base map a little bit. And I will show you guys exactly what they'll see right now. So let's redraw that fog of war. So you would have set that to ignore fog of war first. There we go. Draw the fog of war out. And we know some of our elements are too tall, so we're going to want to make that fog of war bigger. Click. Volume scale. There we go. Is this the top? Yep. And then just bring it up to whatever height you need it. Cool. Give me Shaw. And switch. She's not revealing anymore. Is it because she was in the fog of war when I did it? Let's see. Toggle. Reveal fog of war. Yeah, it just dismissed her fog of war abilities. So now, there we go. And if we go to her view, change color, Shaw's color, no longer the GM, her character sees all around her, or reveal her, we can change this. So she only sees 180 degrees front, and we can change the range. So as it reveals objects, and at this point, you know, they've gotten up to this like hillside, so there you go. You can move around the map a little bit. Now there's a little bit of weirdness, like the stacked walls there are going to get revealed, and they're going to be able to see the whole thing. I forgot that was here. But as they like scout up, you know, you can reveal elements, a bit more elements. Now, it's one of the things that I wish we could do is that it wouldn't reveal this entire section, and there might be a better way to customize this so it doesn't. That might require some experimenting. Let's try. Let's see if we can get this to be, maybe it needs to be ignored. Let's see. For science, get rid of the fog of war real quick. We can always reset it too. What are your stats for fog of war? So, toggle. We've got ignore fog of war. When object is inside fog of war, it will remain invisible. Reveal fog of war. Toggle revealing a fog of war by this piece. What I want it to be is to act like the table, revealed as the player moves. Anybody have anything on that in chat? Shaq, have you seen the Rise of Palpatine mod for Forces of Corruption? I have not. Toggle. What if we do invisible? All right, come over here. Let's see how that happens, if it shows up at all. That is the most crooked fog of war placement I have ever done. Notice that it's actually making, like, the table invisible. You have to be careful what you draw it on. No, see, it's just there. Yeah, see how the raised piece is still revealing? We're gonna do something for science. This may make everything explode. No, that's not gonna work. I can't change the token once it's there. My idea was to change what this is, because this is considered a table, I believe. What are you? No, you're considered a token. Okay, So it does work. I just have to figure out how to do it. Because this and this... No, you're considered... Yeah, no, you're considered a token too. So how did they do it? How did they make the base reveal slowly for the player in Fog of War? There's a way to do it, apparently. Let me see what this has got set. Toggle. This has ignore Fog of War. Auto raise, grid, snap, objects. Ignore Fog of War checked. Tooltips checked. Ignore Fog of War. I don't know. Might be a scripting thing, maybe. Because here's what I want it to do, and I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll have an idea that I'm not totally seeing. Fog of War. Let's draw it. Okay. Now they're both set to ignore Fog of War. The snipers are just at the same level. I find that hilarious. I'm thinking it's a scripting thing, Jonas says. Yeah, I think you might be right. I'm not sure, though. Let me... What if we brought the height up higher? Does that make any difference? What does that do for Fog of War as the players move through it? Let's find out. It does some weirdness. That's what it does. Oh, yes, you can only see 180 degrees. Whoa, it works! There it is. Okay, cool. So we figured it out. Oh, that's bizarre. And now look. It's actually... So the players managed to, like, climb up the hillside here. Her icon is way too big, by the way, for this. And then let's make this a 360 reveal. Like, the angle is cool, but honestly, it's unnecessary. So we'll make field of view 360, and then we'll make the range like, we'll just max range. So they can see pretty far out. Like, it's daytime, there's nothing blocking their vision, so they can do some exploring a bit. It doesn't help for this top one, but that's fine. So you've got to change the level that the Fog of War revealer is at. That's kind of weird. And then as they get up here, they kind of get to see inside. You could use multiple Fog of War boxes. Yeah. I don't know if you can do multiple Fog of War boxes. I don't think I've ever tried. As they're exploring up and around. Now, of course, you can rely on your players to not meta, hopefully. And you could just reveal everything if you wanted to. If you don't want to keep things a surprise and have them, like, you know, make their choices by just getting rid of the Fog of War and being like, okay, here you go. Or keep your NPCs. This is another option that you can have. Keep your NPCs off the map. And then as they discover, like, get into those areas, they get through the tower here, right? There wouldn't be any stormtroopers here. And then say, okay, as you make your way up the top of the hillside and get to the lower levels of cover that looks like they've built makeshift around the ruins and these large wall sections, you see in the light breeze that comes through the flapping of the tops of these tents that are marked with the Imperial logo. You also notice, with your stealth roll as high as it was, you see the very top of the laminate stormtrooper helmet, and it's moving, scanning from side to side, but it doesn't look like it's noticed you. There's definitely a stormtrooper up there, and at that point, you know, copy pasta in your stormtrooper, and that the player is seeing the top of the head up, and they know now that there's a character there. Probably one of the easier ways of doing it, but it does kind of reveal the entire base, and it's hard for players, even subconsciously, not to meta a little bit. So, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind however you want to do it. Have you ever used the self-destruct? Yes, I have used the self-destruct on probe droids. It's a certain amount of damage with an engaged range, and I used it the first time they fought one, because they were trying to kill it with a sword, I think. With a vibroblade. So, yeah, there you go, everybody. So that's how it all plays out. We've got our map, though, and then we can put in, like, the big tent up here if we really want to. All right, let me know your questions down below in the comments. I might do more of these map builds if you guys would like to see them on occasion, either on the YouTube channel, definitely here on Twitch. It's actually quite fun. So thank you all for watching and hanging out, and I hope you have a fantastic time in your own games.